Fala galera do Flow Games, prazer enorme estar aqui com vocês novamente. Eu sou o Mika e é o seguinte, pessoal, eu acabei de sair, estamos aqui em nossa cobertura intensa em Los Angeles e eu acabei de sair de uma apresentação do Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, que é o jogo baseado nesse rico e imenso universo do Avatar. E aqui ao meu lado eu estou com o diretor criativo do jogo, o Magnus Jansen, e vai ser muito legal porque é a pessoa, uma das principais pessoas aqui responsáveis por esse jogo. Então a gente vai fazer algumas perguntinhas, temos muitas, eu sei, também tenho. Então vamos ver o que a gente consegue extrair daqui no tempo que temos disponível. Então liga a tecla SAP que agora a gente vai para o inglês, beleza? So Magnus, thank you again for being here. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
What I have seen in the presentation that we have a very rich world to explore. So the game is before the first movie, all right? It's like a prequel happening in the year of 2138.
No, well, the story actually starts when you're a child. So, and that puts us before the current movies.
Right.
So there's a little bit of that in the beginning,
Sure.
but then when the game starts proper, when you get out of cryo sleep, and there's a little bit of background story how you got there, but when you get out and the game starts proper, we're actually in the same timeline as the new movies.
I have seen the timeline. It was perfectly in the presentation. And what can you tell us more about the story, about the background, about how it plays for the character in relation to the movies and in the gameplay afterwards? What can you tell us about the story itself of this new game, this new entry for such a big and rich franchise?
Well, we're super happy that we've created a brand new story with brand new characters. And to do that, we really needed a new playground. So we created a completely new continent that we call the Western Frontier. And it's never seen before in any of the movies, so it's just for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And here, to create a brand new adventure for the gamers, we needed a new story. And your story is fantastic because it's unique in the way that you are a child of two worlds. That means that when you were young, you and other Na'vi children were kidnapped by the RDA, the evil corporation, the RDA. Mm-hmm. And you were brought up in a school where you're supposed to be brainwashed into being ambassadors for the RDA. So you're taught human weapons, you're taught human ways, and you know very little about what it means to be a real Na'vi. Mm-hmm. But then at the start of the game, well, after some things happen, the events of the first movie, and the whole program shuts down because the RDA are kicked off. But then, as we saw in the new movies, the RDA come back, and you are come out of cryo sleep that you've been in for 16 years. You step onto Pandora, but you've never been there. You've been in this human school for all your life. You don't know the customs. You don't know how anything works. You have to learn how to become Na'vi. But your advantage of learning human stuff comes very quickly to you. You know how to fight them. You know their weapons. You know their technology. So you team up with all the others, the clans, the Na'vi that wants to fight the RDA. And as a child of two worlds, you're uniquely positioned to do that.
That's a very good thing you talked right now, Magnus, of the combat, the movement, the mechanics, because for Massive, we can expect good things on this manner. I'm a very big fan of the Division myself. I have got the Platinum Trophy for the first game, so I have played a lot, and I could see some, in the gunplay especially, I could see some very good signs of your learning, of your trademark. So what can you tell us? I know it's everything new, so we want to know a lot about this game. What can you tell us about the combat, about the exploration, but first the combat, just so we can order this question. About the combat itself, the gameplay, the skill tree we could see in there. What can you tell us about that?
Well, with your unique position of knowing both human and eventually Na'vi things, you have a choice. So the human weapons, they are loud. They're firearms. Like they go boom. So they're powerful, but they're also destructive. They're not good for stealth. But the Na'vi weapons, we got the bow, we got the spear thrower. those are more silent. They're better for a stealthy approach. So when you come up on a combat encounter, you can choose, well, maybe I want to sneak in, take people out with the bow, silent, effective, or just, run straight into it, guns blazing, loudly with human weapons. Or why not, come diving in on your Banshee and take them out from the air as well. So the options are there in the combat for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
Sure, and regarding the missions, regarding the open world structure that the game has in the first person perspective, we could see changes of perspectives from the first person to the third person camera when you got in the creatures, for example, in the Banshees. So what can you tell us about this perspective, about this choice of putting into the first person camera? I mean, I can imagine you have worked on a lot of ideas, maybe in the third person. So we choose the third person, the first person. So why the decision of putting in the first person? I mean, it's a great decision, in my opinion. But how did you get to that decision in terms of gameplay design, of level design, to make sense, to explore this world in the first person perspective?
So the first person was there from the beginning, and the reason for that is very simple, because the dream of Pandora, to me, even when I saw the first movie all those years ago, has always been to, my God, it looks so real. I want to go there. I want to go to Pandora. And the first person perspective to me is the most immersive. It's the most I'm there perspective. And the second reason is that wanting to go to Pandora, you want to go there because the things that just fly by quickly in the movie, in the game, it's interactive. I want to go up to it. I want to look at it. I want to touch it and be really close. And in the first-person perspective, you can go really close and up personal with things. So that was from the beginning. And then, of course, as you said, when you get on and fly on your Banshee, we switched to third person. But it's a gameplay reason, so that just for steering and it's better handling that way.
It's more natural.
Yeah.
And what can you tell us about the mission structure? I mean, we have the main missions, the secondary missions, the activities distributed in the open world environment. What can you tell us, any information you have that you can tell us about how this structure works? How do you pick up the missions, the main missions, the side missions, or the side activities? What do you have to do in this open world environment that looks beautiful, by the way?
Oh, thank you. Well, it's an action-adventure game. The main campaign is like the spine of the game. That's the main roller coaster, if you will, on this in this fantastic environment. So at any point, you can decide, hey, you know what? I want to go and explore. I want to do something completely different. You sort of like, okay, I'm not going to continue on the main campaign. I'm going to go off and maybe do some side quests, engage with some side activities, engage with the hunting or the crafting system or cooking to experiment with different ingredients or try to get the very, very best materials by learning how I get the very best, which conditions to harvest, etc. So it's really up to you. If you just want that main story, that main plot, you stick with the main campaign and the main missions. If you want to go deeper into the lore, the characters, the depth of the cultures of the clans, then you engage in the side missions. Yeah.
Nice. And we're almost on time. So to end this interview, is there anything you wish to talk about that maybe I did not ask in this conversation?
Well, to me, I think the core thing here with Pandora and being a Na'vi is that you're allowed to bond for life with a Banshee. And that your flying companion that you get to name, that you get to pick the color on, that you get to customize and use for combat, for transport, just for hanging out, to pet it, to feed it. It is such a central part of everything Avatar to us. So to soar the skies, to dive in under the canopy or go high up over the clouds is really you're just flying and chilling, not engaging with anything and just like seeing this amazing environments, flying past you from high or super close. That is, it is transformative.
Nice. Thank you very much again for your time, Magnus. Thank you for your attention and all the information you brought to us. Então, voltando aqui para o português, galera, fomos aqui, tivemos esse papo muito bacana, pegando o que a gente consegue de informação. Sabemos que o jogo está sendo divulgado mais agora pela Ubisoft e ainda vamos ouvir e ver muito sobre o Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, beleza? Que já tem data de lançamento, né? Ele está sendo lançado no dia 7 de dezembro para PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS e PC, plataformas de nova geração, para aproveitar ao máximo essas tecnologias. Beleza? Então é isso, vamos seguir na nossa cobertura aqui. Obrigado a todos que estão acompanhando. Valeu, um grande abraço.